Hi, I'm Pisces, and this is going to be the All Skills NMG video tutorial series. I'm mainly aiming this tutorial series at people who are new to Hollow Knight speedrunning and want to improve their times, and people who have run other categories and are looking to get into All Skills. What that means is you're going to have to do a little bit of exploration on your own, figure out what's the most comfortable for you for each room. That being said, I am going to go over pretty decent beginner strategies for each section, as well as the quote-unquote optimal method for each section as well. This run is done on patch 1221, which hopefully you can see here below my input display. If you're having trouble down patching, look at the Discord. There's some pretty good guides that should walk you through the whole process. This is important because I'm going to go over some 1221 exclusive tricks, so make sure you do this beforehand. The only trick that's a little bit of prerequisite knowledge is inventory dropping, and that will appear right here at the beginning of the run, so I will discuss it then. Let's get started. All right, so there's 3 cutscenes that play at the beginning anytime you select a new file. If you're using the auto splitter, the timer has not started during these cutscenes, so you can choose to skip them, or you can sit through them. Typically, if you're doing runs, you'll skip through them because you just want to get to the run. But once you get through the cutscenes, you're going to want to start mashing pause as soon as you see this, King's Pass. So pausing here gives us early control of our character, where typically you would do a relatively slow fall all the way down here to the bottom of King's Pass, where you'd then be in a 3 to 4 second hard fall animation. But by pausing, we can gain early control of our character and move over to the right. Then once we've hit this wall, we want to inventory drop all the way to the bottom. So an inventory drop uncaps your fall speed, allowing you to go down very quickly, and then it also removes the hard fall animation. So once we hit the bottom, we're going to be able to walk immediately. Also, something that comes up a lot is people say, well, why don't you do it all the time then when you're going down? And the reason for this is for small falls, it's not worth it because of the lag that's associated with opening and closing your inventory. So I'm going to show here, I'm just going to move to the right, and once I hit the wall, inventory drop. Then I will continue on through King's Pass. Just like that. As you make your way through, you're going to want to upslash the doors. This is because side slashing will give you a little bit of pushback, which slows you down. From there, it's a bit of simple platforming. There's a little trick here that everyone does, but it's not necessary, just pogoing off this background object to get you up here. But you can also just hop up normally, and it's equally as fast. Once you get to this region, we want to use this Vengefly in order to help us pogo to this platform a little bit faster. This Vengefly can spawn a little further left, like it has now, or a little closer right, which would be kind of under the platform. If it's close to you, you can do a little hop up here off this upper platform, and then come back and land on the platform without falling down in order to bait it over. If it's further away like this, you'll have to drop down, get its attention, and then hop back up. Once you have its attention though, you can jump, pogo off of it, and continue through King's Pass. Just like that. Once you reach this area, if I continue a little bit further, the floor is about to break. And in order to avoid the hard fall that would happen if I just kept holding right, I'm going to do a little hop right before the ground breaks. And then there's 2 levels of ground below this floor. I want to land on the upper one so that I don't get the hard fall. So what that looks like is this. Just like that. I made sure to land on this upper floor because if I landed down here, it would be a hard fall. The key is just the jump right before the ground breaks. From there, you can just complete King's Pass like you would normally. Like that. So now we are at Dirtmouth. We are going to hop off this ledge and then inventory drop right before the bottom. We don't inventory drop immediately because most of this room is horizontal. It's holding right. So rather than dropping down quickly and still having to walk horizontally a lot, we just take as much horizontal distance as possible and then just inventory drop right at the end to cancel the hard fall. Once you get around here, you need to start full jumping by the time you reach this second lamppost. And the reason for that is Dirtmouth slows you down when you are close to the ground. It's just a forced walking for aesthetic purposes or something. So we want to be in the air as much as possible in order to avoid that slowdown. You can notice me slowing down every time I get close to the ground. It's just for a second, but it's noticeable. Until you get to here, and then you can just hop on into the well. From here, we are going to continue around and head towards the Vengeful Spirit. This room is just walking through it, and we're about to enter the large crossroads room. Our goal in this room is to inventory drop from the top all the way to the bottom. So I will show you where the drop is, and ideally we fall all the way through without getting hit. However, there's Gruzzers flying around the room, so there's an RNG chance that you get hit. If this happens, just realign yourself and open your inventory drop. Open your inventory again until you drop to the bottom. So I will show that here. So your visual cue for your drop is going to be just as you pass this wire that's holding up one of the platforms. This little region here should allow you to drop all the way to the bottom. If there's a Gruzzer right here, you'll probably have to wait for it to get out of your way before you can drop. And then you fall, and this time I got lucky and fell all the way through without getting hit. If you do get hit, just get back in the right spot and fall the rest of the way down with your inventory open. This room, just allow yourself to drop again, and continue through the rest of the room. Coming up here is the Aspid Arena. There's a beginner-friendly strat for this arena, and there's a significantly harder strat for this arena. The harder strat only saves maybe like a second or two, and it's pretty tight. So I'm going to start with the beginner strat. When you first enter the arena, regardless of your strat of choice, you just want to kill this first Aspid as quickly as possible, because that spawns the next 2 Aspids. After you kill the first one, you need to be quick in getting into position for either strat so that you can kill the second wave effectively. So beginner strat first. Okay, so I went the long way for whatever reason. It's because I'm used to the harder strat. But basically, you want to place yourself on the edge of this platform. Also, there's a falling spike here. Be careful to avoid it. It'll fall right in the middle. The goal here is, as they spawn, you are attempting to get them to line up on top of each other so that you can pogo both of them at the same time. This should allow you to kill them as quickly as possible. Each one takes 3 hits to kill. So Once they spawn, I'm going to jump up, trying to scare this one down to join the other, and then I will pogo them. So that's basically the ideal for the strategy, is getting them together and then getting them within 3 to 4 hits. Now for the harder strategy. I might not hit it first try, it's pretty tight, but basically we're going to use that spike that was up there to try to kill the 2 aspids that spawn in the second wave. I will show how that's done right now. So once you kill the first aspid, you're going to head up to this top platform. Then as you see the second one spawning, you jump, hit the edge of the platform, jump as soon as possible, and then hit this spike to the right. You have to be as fast as possible with it so that you get the right trajectory to kill both of them. So let's give that a try. Just like that. The main key here is jumping the second you hit the ground here. As for Geo in this room, try to have like 8 or more generally, but it's not such a big deal that you should slow down to pick up any Geo. My Geo will probably be broken for most of this tutorial series because of how the debug mod works. So I will tell you specific numbers you need at certain sections of the run. All right, this next room is cycle based, so I'm gonna show that here. So that's how that room looks going through it properly. Now we're going to go back and I will show you the visual cues on when to jump. So this first jump doesn't really matter. Now you can see this grass in the background. As soon as you hit the front part of the grass, you're going to want to full jump so that you land on this middle ledge. Once you've landed, you can basically just full jump the rest of the way until you're past the 3 goems. You can pogo off of this one, or you can just continue along your way. It's no different. Once you reach this area, the Vengefly will notice you. You have 3 options depending on where it spawns. You can either jump over it completely and ignore it. You can jump and pogo off of it to get up to this upper ledge. Or the most common method is, if it's high up, you walk and pogo on these spikes to go under it. So in this case, because of where it is, I'm going to pogo the spikes. If it was lower, I would either jump over it or pogo off of it. Just like that. This room is just walking and jumping. If this Vengefly is in your way, simply upslash it and keep going. So just like that. This room, once again, is pretty simple. Just continue on. This next room has a trick called Statue Pogo. So basically, there's a destructible background object over here that we want to use to get a little height boost. The problem is the jump to get next to it so we can pogo it is a little tight when this tick is here. But here, I'm going to go back and make a save state. A great way to practice anything is to download the debug mod, which you'll find on Discord. So I will show this once and then explain it. Just like that. So what's going on here is I jump up and then this tick-tick will just be getting out of the way. So you want your jump arc to go kind of right in between the platform and the tick-tick. And then as soon as you've cleared the lip of the platform, let go of any direction so that you rise up next to this statue here. Then once you've gotten to the full height of your jump, you're going to pogo and then hold right so you land up here. Just like that. If this trick proves difficult and you end up hitting the tick-tick a lot, or you bonk your head on the platform, another way to do it is to just jump over the tick-tick and then pogo the Vengefly. After that, you'll continue through and head towards False Knight. Here, you're basically just going to be walking through the room and avoiding enemies. One thing to note about the husks over here, one of them is a jumping husk. And the problem with the jumping husk is, because of some bug in the game's coding, if the jumping guy hits the ceiling or the wall while you are rising with your jump, it'll instantly cut all of your vertical momentum and you'll fall. Obviously, this is a problem if you're jumping over an enemy, because you'll just fall into the enemy. So generally, if the jumping enemy is in a bad spot, you prevent it from hitting the ceiling by jumping and pogoing it as it tries to jump. Okay. It was in a good spot, so typically I'd walk under there, but the method to prevent it from hitting the ceiling is just jump pogo. Alright, now we're coming up to False Knight. We are only going to see one phase of this fight, because we are going to skip most of the fight by hitting the breakable wall to the left. You can ignore all of the husks in the arena. As soon as False Knight hits the ground, they will all die instantly. This one I'm going to kill just for the sake of showing where the fight trigger is. So the fight triggers the second you hit the edge of this larger shell in the background. As soon as you hit the trigger, you're going to turn around and False Knight's going to drop right here in the middle. After that, you're basically just going to hold forward at False Knight and just keep attacking it, even if you have to tank damage until False Knight gets knocked over. I think it takes, I don't remember the exact number, I usually play it by feel, but I think it's 13 hits to knock False Knight over. Typically, I try to get 6 before False Knight jumps the first time. I am probably going to show this fight only once or twice. You can just mess around and see what works. But generally, if you're holding forward at False Knight and continuously attacking, you're going pretty fast. So just like that. Once you knock False Knight over, it takes 8 hits to bring him to the next phase. After that, make sure you're on this side. So if you knocked him down over to the right, you should walk under as he jumps. Then he's going to slam the ground 8 times. On the 8th hit, this wall becomes breakable. Then you're going to break the wall and continue on towards Ancestral Mound. You're going to drop and then continue onwards. So that's False Knight. I will show it one more time, just for... I'm going to try and show the bosses a couple times, but this is obviously the easiest boss, other than potentially Grozmother. So I hit the trigger, turn around, and just start going. In this case, so 2 things. One, if there's extra geo and you have time, you can go pick it up. Also, I happen to get good False Knight RNG on both of these. If False Knight jumps away from you instead of over you, it'll take a little bit longer, and it's a little bit of time loss. But the strat itself doesn't change. So 8 hits, 7, 8, and then you continue on your way. From here, we are going to make our way up to Vengeful Spirit. This is just simple platforming, nothing special. At this point, you should have, I don't know, ideally around 15 geo. Any more is great. You're going to talk to the Snail Shaman. 1 second, sorry. Typically, you're going to be playing in Chinese, and the reason for this is the text scrolls faster. But you're just going to mash through every text and then jump into Vengeful Spirit. And that's the first split of the run. From here, we will go to Green Path and grab the dash.